forever ago that it was Friday, but let's get to it. Jimmy Butler. Yeah. Since we spoke last, the Miami Heat, they suspended him for 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team. Obviously, the Players Association is going to file a grievance, calling it excessive and inappropriate. We all know he's indicated he wants to trade. They are now listening to offers. That sort of changed a little bit since the last time we discussed Pat Riley. He's already served game 1 of his suspension on Saturday. Lou, have we seen the last of Jimmy Butler in a Miami uniform?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think he remains with the team, just based on the sentiments of Pat Riley, the position he's taken with Jimmy suspending him 7 games. Outside looking in, you would think 7 games would kind of buy them some time. But if you look at their schedule, they got a lot going on in the next 10 days. That's about all that they get from Jimmy being away from the team. About 10 days worth of time with the trade deadline looming February 8th. That's still about 3 weeks, a 3-week gap where you either got to figure out a way to trade him between now and then, between now and the next 10 days, or he's possibly going to suit up in a Miami Heat uniform unless they go a route and tell him just stay away from the team until they find a trade suitor for him. With everything emerging out of Phoenix with Bradley Beal and Nurkic being benched, maybe that makes it a little bit more interesting. Maybe that speeds that timeline up. But at this point, I still feel like we may see Jimmy Butler in a Miami Heat uniform once again.
Really? Chandler, what do you think?
I don't know, Lou. It just feels like this is a wrap. It feels like the 7-game suspension, by the way, is deserved. You can't just go and say things like this. You can't basically say, I don't want to be here. It's a bad message to the organization. It's a bad message to the fans. It's a bad message to those guys in the locker room that he's just supposed to come back and play with after his suspension's up. He's made it clear that he doesn't want to be there. That's my son again. There we go.
Yeah, rambunctious.
He's made it very clear he doesn't want to be there. And look, sure, did they make any crazy moves like these other teams did? No, but this is still a solid basketball team that he's had a lot of success with Bam, an up-and-coming star, and Tyler Hero, a top 3, top 5 coach and Spo. So in a great city in Miami. So look, I've been in these situations before, and the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So I do think it's his last game there. I can't imagine he's playing another game in a Heat uniform. And Riley would be silly not to shop him, because even if he does come back and play this year with them, there's no way this dude's re-signing. He's opting out and he's hitting free agency this summer. So I think too much has been done. You can't look back from this. And I don't think we'll see him in a Heat jersey again this season or next season.
Lou, so I think it's interesting that you said we might still actually see him in a Heat uniform. I mean, if we've learned anything about Jimmy Butler, he really does kind of do what he wants when he wants. So even if he were to suit up again, would he play nice? Like, I can't imagine that he would go out there and play nice.
Yeah, well, he already said he was going to be a professional. He was going to compete at the highest level he could. The reason why all of it started, he had a couple bum games and he felt like he wasn't impacting winning. He said the joy wasn't there, and he just wasn't giving him the level of Jimmy Butler that he's accustomed to giving the team. Only reason I think that he's going to play again, because why not just suspend him or send him away from the team indefinitely until you find you a trade suitor? I don't see that happening. They put a specific game on it. They put a specific time limit on it, and then they'll look back into it. And Pat Riley has said they have no plans on trading Jimmy Butler. So is Jimmy trying to force his way out of Miami and find a better place for himself? Absolutely. That doesn't necessarily mean that Miami Heat have to cooperate with that, especially if they don't feel like they can find the value for Jimmy Butler out there in the trade market right now as it is.
Yeah, but if you're Pat Riley right now, I'm Pat Riley, I'm kind of lowering my value, right? I'm lowering my expectations. I'm trying to get back as much as I possibly can just to kind of salvage this team this season moving forward, because Jimmy Butler is super valuable. We all know how great he can be. But at the end of the day, this has become more of a distraction than anything for this team. And they're right there. They're currently at the 5 seed. They're healthy. So I don't see why this is such a panic down there. But clearly this is a personal relationship that's gone sour. He straight up said he's not even having joy playing basketball anymore. These are the type of things that you hear when you see, there's about to be a move made. So obviously I'm not there. I don't know everything that's going on. I know this happens often, and clearly he's trying to push his way out. So if I'm Pat Riley, maybe I'm lowering my standards a little bit of what I can get back, but I'm definitely trying to get back something before this dude just leaves this summer.
Yeah,
It happens a
distraction. I
lot.
agree, bro. Yeah, I was just gonna say distraction. I agree. This is a distraction for the Miami Heat, and we know how much they hate that with the culture they've tried to build over decades of time. But we also know in that same amount of time, it's always been Pat Riley's way or the highway. And right now, this is going Pat Riley's way. If Jimmy forces a trade out, this goes Jimmy's way. So who knows? It looks like this is gonna be a tug of war of who wants to be right and who wants to be in a position to be the guy that wins this tug of war, this battle that they're going through. But up to date, it's always gone Pat Riley's way.
It's a big alpha battle is what's going on. By the way, if we have to assess blame here, whose fault is this, Chandler?
I don't know that it's anyone's fault necessarily. I mean, they didn't really add other pieces around it, but they still have enough to be competitive and to win. Again, they're at the end of the day, they're paying him a boatload of money. They've pretty much given him everything he wants contractually. Like I said earlier, he has Tyler Hero, he's got Bam, he's got these pieces to be able to compete. And he's got one of the best coaches in the league playing in Miami in one of a top 3, top 5 cities. So I don't know if there's anyone to blame. This just happens. And sometimes with a signing, with a player, with a franchise where it just goes south and it goes the other way. And it's just time for a change. And I don't know if that's Jimmy's fault, if that's Pat's fault, if that's Spo's fault, if who ruffled the feathers originally. But this just seems like a relationship that was fine. And they had some bumps. So let's not forget last year and a couple years ago, Udonis Haslam and Jimmy getting into it, and Spo and Jimmy getting into it on the bench. Like, there's definitely been some hiccups throughout this relationship, but at the end of the day, they won and they had a lot of success. And like Lou said, they identified this Heat culture where they could just turn it on in the playoffs. That didn't happen last year, so now it doesn't look like it's going to happen again this year. So I don't know if there's someone to blame here. I just think it's just gone sour and it's time for a change.
I think they got to remove those jerseys that say Heat culture on them from the rotation. Like, I feel like those need to be collector's items now. It doesn't work. We've got others. No, it's just put it in the closet. We got another story coming out of Phoenix now. Chris Haynes reporting that the Phoenix Suns are now going to